So I go into this cafe, have a cup of coffee. I'm sitting there, minding my own business, when I look over, across the aisle from me, there was this big, kind of tough-looking guy. Uh, he had a swastika around his neck, a big swastika. And suddenly I saw this old Jewish man. He was with his wife. He must have been about 80 years old, not more. And he actually went up to this guy and said, I want you to understand what this symbol means. You can't understand it, or you wouldn't be wearing it. And of course, he was treated with utter contempt by this person. And I thought to myself, has it gotten this bad? And I convinced myself that, well, this is one idiot. There's not, there's not a lot of them. And then I watch in horror as millions of Trumplings are doing the same thing as what happened in Germany, and they don't see it. I mean, Trump's basically been more open about what he's going to do than Hitler. Hit his agenda a little bit better, and so did Mussolini. So it's not a joke. I cannot believe the so-called free press in the United States isn't really calling this guy out for what he is. It's horrifying. It's disturbing. And yet, it's the classic pattern of very low information, usually unlearned in any way, their capacity to be used by a demagogue like Mr. Rump, is it? They have nobody to blame, and then they get this blowhard that speaks on a fourth grade level, and although he's a complete idiot and richer than any of them will ever dream of in their lifetime, he somehow appeals to these people as one of them. Very similar to the brown shirts in Germany. So a warning to these people that are so violent and neo-Nazis and saying Heil Hitler and everything. Be careful what you wish for, because if you study the history of World War II, you would know that Hitler turned on the brown shirts after they weren't useful to him. It's not pretty what he did to them either. And he'll turn on you. Don't kid yourself. This guy is seriously demented. America has lost its mind. At least a large portion of the population of America has completely lost its mind. The rest of the world are looking on in stunned amazement and a mixture of horror and disbelief and saying, well, those crazy Americans, they've done it now. It's not like it happened overnight, but we're do or die now. And, of course, this threat of neo-Nazism is what Hillary uses to encourage people to keep the corporate thing going, keep the corporate machine fed, keep the free trade thing going. No banker is worried about about her, because none of them will ever have to go to jail. They can keep playing their casino capitalism games until they crash the market again. And then they'll just take it out of your hide again. So you have this choice between corporatism and fascism. Extreme corporatism on the one hand, and both candidates are pathological liars, and I would challenge anybody to call me out on that. They are both pathological liars. Personality disorders. Both are narcissists, but I don't know. One might be marginally better than the others. And this is the whole thing about the Bernie or bust thing. While there is a certain truth in saying, yes, you know, if Bernie loses the nomination, they won't vote for. It's sort of the same conclusion Nader came to, you know, when he ran, exposing corporatism, exposing what it's all about. But yeah, Trump is a very, very dangerous human being. And I would venture to guess that should he succeed, life will be very, very different. America will be great for a few minutes before the bombs start falling on you. The man is insane, clearly. And I would dare anybody to say he wasn't. But insane narcissists, there's a certain market for them in capitalist America, in capitalist the world now. This whole world economy that they've carefully built up is all crumbling around them. But the greed doesn't stop. The greed never stops. The Machiavellian politics involved, the corrupt systems, the corporate money, the corporately run media. This didn't happen overnight. It was incremental. If it had happened overnight, people would have rose up, taking your rights away, one bit at a time. It may seem like a small thing, a small piece of your rights missing. But eventually it all adds up and ends up in Orwellian nightmare. I also believe that this whole protesting and the violence at Trump rallies could be used to your advantage should you approach a nonviolent protest mode and not provoke, and take a lesson from Martin Luther King, take a lesson from Gandhi. The way you bring these idiots down is not to fight with them, because that lowers yourself to their level. Protest is good. Protest is democratic. Protest is your right. Silent protest, peaceful protest, always demonstrates who's in the right and who is a fascist. If peaceful people are standing there and even, you know, they're being provoked and everything, what do you do? Do you strike back and then the media can say, look, it's one of those crazy Bernie supporters, you know, violent and engaging in violence. In order for protests to be successful, we have to take lessons from successful protests. And the most successful have always been nonviolent. I think that perhaps some workshops should be given in nonviolent techniques. I think that's crucial, absolutely crucial in this day and age that everybody understand the principles of nonviolence and why it works. Because it does work, and it will work now. It requires mental discipline. Mental discipline to stand and stare at somebody who's spitting in your face and calling you all kinds of racist epithets, and stand there and look him straight in the eye and not react. It won't be long. It won't be long before people are inspired by that. And so you can turn it around from being those crazy Bernie people that show up and fight with, I mean, this is all propaganda, you know, but this is how it's going to be spun, right? Oh, look at that. Well, extremists. No, of course not. There's so many people when I'm posting comments that call me commie. And I always laugh because I'm reminded of days of my youth long ago when, you know, I would watch shows like All in the Family, and Archie Bunker was, "You commie, you." And it's so over the top and it's so ridiculous to equate a politician who would be kind of center-right by European standards as a communist. But that's what propaganda does over the years and years of it. So why fascism? Why America is going in a fascist direction? It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Because I know there are so many good Americans that are every bit as horrified as I am, and thinking, what on earth is possessing these people? I mean, there's an anger, justified anger, in the abuse that globalization is brought to these people. Now, I can remember when they first brought this globalization stuff in, and I said, no, this is ridiculous. This isn't going to work. It's unfair. I remember way back, Tiananmen Square, 1989, and there was a sense of outrage after watching the Communist Party in China slaughter its own population. And at the time, I attended this protest. And of course, there was some government official up there, some politician trying to make points with it, saying, yes, China, you know, they did a bad thing. And so I yelled out, why don't we cut trade ties then? Well, then he launched into this whole gobbledygook thing and couldn't answer me. And so I went on my mission to never buy Chinese products. But soon, there was nothing left to buy but Chinese products. People were getting wealthy on Chinese products. Certainly not the workers that made them. I mean, I guess there's an advantage to using slave labor. Perhaps that's the secret to Chinese quality. Is, yeah, you know what I mean. So, all the jobs exported, more means of social control, surveillance society. So you can go two ways. You can make it much worse and go an outright dictatorship and vote for Donald Trump. Or the other choice is, of course, Bernie Sanders, the commie. You know, my father lived in Poland. And when he was 15 and just a country lad, living a 15-year-old life, he had dreams of becoming a veterinarian. Good student, smart. 15 years old, the Nazis invaded Poland. And he never liked to talk about it all that much. Few times, few things he said to me over the years. And he had been in a concentration camp. He'd escaped and made his way somehow to join the Polish division of the British Army. He fought in Monte Cassino, one of the bloodiest battles of World War II. Not many people know, but the Poles were the ones that finally took Monte Cassino. And he would have loved Bernie Sanders because he recognized, and he was anti-communist as you can. I mean, I used to laugh, at how anti-communist he was. So don't give me this horse shit about Bernie Sanders being a communist. You insult the intelligence of people. And you think that by repeating a lie over and over and over again, well, yes, stupid people believe it. Idiots. Yes, Bernie wants to get in there and take over the means of production. And he wants to, nationalize everything. Oh, man. There's people at the top, the people that have everything, they don't want to give out even crumbs. They won't pay taxes. There's completely no loyalty to any country, certainly. No, it's globalization, baby. It's go, go, go. Extract everything as fast as you can. Kill the planet as fast as you can. Destroy the species. It's all good. It's fucking globalization. Bullshit. It's nothing but bullshit and horseshit that I've heard for 40 fucking years. 40 years of watching the earth being destroyed, getting worse and worse and worse. And these idiots, endless growth, endless economic growth. Because it's all for me, 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 me. And these economists that come up with great theories as to why they are doing God's work for the good of humanity. The globalization is lifting all boats. No, rising tide will not lift boats that have holes in them. Luxury liners, however, would do okay. But not little fishing boats with holes in them. I'd like to wish everybody over at the Google community, Bernie 2016, the best wishes from the bottom of my heart. Special shout out to Scarlet Red. Scarlet Red is like, it's double red. She must be a commie. Red. Hi, Scarlet. Thanks for the nice chatting with you, and nice chatting with everybody over there. Thanks for blessing so many of my posts. It's a mutual admiration society all around. And you get a sense of community that is palpable with a group of people that are like-minded. Dana does a really good job. There's so many other people on there. Swami, great stuff. So many good posts. I'd like to say a special hello to Jim Schermerhorn, who has given me so many pluses it gets embarrassing. Oh, I should write a list really and thank everybody for letting me be part of this group, and to encourage anybody that's supporting Bernie that's not over there, get over there. It's like an information clearinghouse for Bernie fans. You get the latest news, you instantly. I mean, people are perusing the internet for the latest on the campaign, for every little twist and turn. So if you support Bernie, get over to the community on G+. You'll like it, I promise. Because it's moderated, you don't get Scalia's ghost, who's this character that keeps showing up on Bernie sites and saying, calling people commies, commie, you commie pinko fag, you. Yeah. You can't reason with people that are unreasonable and that have an agenda. It's a mental disorder, so you just have to sort of go, okay, yeah, whatever. It's like, the same way you deal with somebody that claims he was Julius Caesar or Christ, so yeah, I think he thinks he's Scalia's ghost, as if the original Scalia wasn't bad enough just when you thought it was safe. Well, I'll close this for now and say, Godspeed Bernie Sanders. It's America's last hope. It's the world's last hope. There, I said it.